Hello everyone, welcome to LUKMAAN IAS. Today's question from UPSC Geography Optional Paper 1 2021 examination. So the question is for 10 marks. Describe the concept of altiplanation. Now many times students find it very difficult to understand the concepts from geomorphology subject, especially the slope development, channel morphology and those part of our chapter 1 of paper 1. Okay, and this let's say particular concept of altiplanation, many a times it is not given in normal reference books and students find it very difficult to find the sources of such concepts. I will tell you the source also. First of all, let's understand what is to be written in the answer. As it is 10 mark question, 150 words, small introduction and conclusion is required with important part as a body part. So what we can start here in the structure part with introduction, define the altiplanation, what is exactly altiplanation in 1 or 2 lines. You can define that term, or simply you can say that it is the important landform in the periglacial landform of periglacial regions. Simply you can start with that. Then in the body part, start describing this particular landform, how this landform is formed, where let's say as a part of cycle of erosion in the periglacial region, how it works out, and finally the cryoplanation or altiplanation is formed. So all these aspects you can write in the body part, and in conclusion you can write the significance of, we can say, this particular landform as the end part of your cycle of erosion. Okay, so let us start with the introduction here. Altiplanation. Okay, so this particular landform is part of periglacial landforms, and periglacial areas are those areas which are surrounding to the glacial regions. Glacial regions are perennially under, we can say that, ice or glaciers, but periglaciers, they sometimes experience the melting of ice, and that's why we are calling them as periglacial, and they have unique kind of landforms, and altiplanation is basically one of the landform. They are alternatively also called as equiplanation or cryoplanation also. Cryo means sub-zero temperature, so that's why the name is given cryoplanation also. Okay, now you have understood. Description, you can start with the description that this landform is a kind of, we can say, terrace formation, terraces with gentle slope separated by steep scarps. Okay, I will show in the diagram also how it looks like exactly, but this is the description, and such kind of landforms are largely found in high altitude region and high latitude region. Altiplanation. Okay, so how it looks like, everyone should draw the diagram also in your answer. So in that, see here, so you can see that these are nothing but the terraces which are being formed, and this is high altitude region, we can say the mountainous region, which is now converted into terraces of, we can say, the terrace like landforms, which are separated by these steep sloping scarps. You can see here. Okay, so this is nothing but the altiplanation. So initially when the landform may be there like mountain, suppose this is initial position, that is steep slope like this, and this is covered by glaciers at the mountain top, and the periglacial region will be this one, which will be sometimes during the winter times, we can say, under the ice cover, and sometimes it is during summer times, we can say it is melting, and due to the action of frost or simply frost weathering and different, we can say, actions of ice there, the such kind of topography is formed or landform is formed. Now what are the processes involved in the formation of this altiplanation terraces? So the important processes are 3 important processes. One, we can say nivation. I will explain these terms. Nivation, jelly fraction. Third one, mass movement. Okay, so these are the important processes that are there in formation of altiplanation. Now what is nivation? So when the mountain is formed, so suppose it is covered by the ice, so of course there will be the first process starting there will be nivation. Nivation is basically a kind of erosion process or weathering and erosion process by the ice in the subsurface area when the area is completely covered by the ice throughout the year. Okay, so there the abrasion kind of thing starts from the bottom side of the rocks, and because of that what happens is, suppose the earlier surface was like this, there will be depression form like this, because this is covered by ice, and this ice mass is basically from underneath is continuously doing the weathering and erosion, and because of that what will happen, this ice cover will be like this and there will be water in the outskirts like this, and suppose now there is a slope, there will be movement of this water down slope, and that water will also carry the eroded material or withered material along with it, and that's why we are saying that mass movement is also part of the formation of this altiplanation terraces. Okay, now what is jelly fraction, or we can say that the frost, we can say weathering also, or because of that what happens, scarp retreat happens. Now this earlier I had explained you how this scarp retreat happens. I will again draw that diagram where you will understand. Suppose initially this is the slope, okay, of the mountain, this is the slope. Now what happens over the period of time, this slope is converted like this. So small planes are being formed initially, and you can see the scarps are steep slopes. Now retreat of this we can say slope happens because of this, we can say work of, or we can say it is called as also frost shattering, the phenomenon frost shattering, यानी कि क्या होता है, यहाँ से आइस नीचे गिरता रहता है, okay, and because of that there is a breaking of this rocks mechanically, okay, so that's why this slope is always steep while this is gentler. Why? Because the mass movement of this material is happening and it is deposition here. Now this slope is continuously retreating in this direction, that means the slope, the area or the width of this planation or plane terraces is increasing, going to increase. So simply we can say that the next will look like this. Okay, so that means the width of the planation or planation terrace has increased. So this is the process working out here in the diagram also. Initially you can see the dotted line is initial surface in the youthful stage of the periglacial cycle of erosion, and you can see that these cliffs basically they are worked out by the glaciers. So glaciers are continuously eroding in the topmost region, and you can see that the kind of work being done by the glaciers. So you can see here, this is the part now. So over the period you can see that they are converted into gentler sloping cryoplanation terraces or altiplanation terraces. So these terraces are being formed like this. Okay, so earlier you can see the earlier shape is this one, and ultimately it is now converted into plane congely fracted covered surface of downwesting. Okay, so the congely fraction, the second process we were talking about, okay, or jelly fraction or congely fraction. So this is nothing but the work of frost shattering, okay, and because of that the scarp retreat happens. Okay, so this is very important concept and you should know, understand, and you should explain it exactly in a technical manner as you are geography optional students. Okay, तो अगर आपको ये इसमें इस concept में if you have any doubt you can ask in the comment box of this video. I hope you have understood this concept. Also let me tell you the source where you can get the such kind of concepts very well explained is you need to read the textbook of geomorphology by P. Dayal. Okay, textbook of geomorphology by P. Dayal, but it is very difficult for students to read such separate geomorphology book. Okay, already students are reading Savindra Singh. Okay, and in that is for these topics it is very difficult to read other books also. So what you can do is you can refer to these video lectures that we are providing. You can you can prepare your own notes also, and then you can deal with this question also. Fine? Okay, thank you.